In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the 3 fuel tank straps on this Nissan Pathfinder. Let's get started. There are 3 fuel tank straps, like I said. There's one at the front, one in the middle, and one at the back. We're going to do one at a time. That way the fuel tank doesn't drop down at all. And I also have a pole jack ready. I'm going to start at the front. It really doesn't matter where you start, but I'm going to use my pole jack with a piece of rubber in between. That way I don't damage the plastic fuel tank to support it in case it does want to fall down just a little bit. I mean, it will drop. It's meant to have 3 straps on it, and we're removing one at a time. If you're on the ground, you can use a floor jack, but just make sure you either put something soft, piece of rubber or a piece of wood on here that has a larger surface area that isn't going to gouge this fuel tank. So having said that, let's put a little bit of pressure on it. Obviously, it's already starting to bend a little, so I'm not going to crush it, just enough to support it when it does drop down. This is the first fuel tank strap I'm going to remove, so let's get started on that. Every strap is going to have a little 10mm nut that clamps onto a stud that holds this shield on. So I'm going to start by taking this off. If these break, that's okay. We're obviously replacing the straps. If your mounting nuts are in poor condition, replace them. Mine are good. Well, this one's good, so I'm going to plan on reusing this one. Now this shield should pull away from the strap. However, I'm going to put it right back on because we need to go through here because we need to get the 16mm bolt off that holds the strap on this side. Once again, 16mm socket. I already sprayed it with rust penetrant. Mine's a little rusty. There it is. Set it aside. Pull the shield away. There we go. Now you can pull the strap down on this side. Let's go and bolt it off the other side. Also 16mm on the other side. Okay, save the bolt, and there's your strap. Take your new strap. The front one is going to be the shortest of all of them, and if you aren't sure, just compare lengths. I'm going to start it on this side first and start the bolt in. If needed, clean up the threads. I had to, so I did. I'm going to snug it up. I'm not going to torque it yet. I just want it to hold the strap on here nice and tight. All right, so I'll come back and finalize this after the other side is on. To get this side on, I'm going to pry the shield away just a little and get this poking through here. The bolt hole's almost lined up. I want to get this stud for the shield poking through though. There we go. Try to line up the bolt hole the best you can. Start the bolt by hand. You don't want this to cross thread. All right, that goes on perfectly. I'm going to snug it up. Let's put this mounting nut on since we're here, and then we'll torque both of the bolts that hold that fuel tank in place. All right, here we go. 30 foot-pounds is the torque for both of these. Actually, all of them, all 6 bolts that hold all 3 straps. That's it right there. Let's go to the other side, torque the other one as well. All right, let's repeat the process for the other 2. Now that this is bolted on and tight, you can remove your support if you used one, which, by the way, I recommend, especially for the first and the last strap. And the process is going to be the same for the other ones. This one in the middle right here, you might not have to support it just because there isn't really an area where it'll droop down, like on the ends where it can tilt. But if you do support it, I recommend going right here where it has this piece that crosses over with the divots, or right on the edge here. Anywhere where it's flat, it's going to start bending, especially right here in this area. You have the fuel pump pickup tube here. You don't want to crush that. And like I said, the procedure is the same for the other 2. The torque is also the same, so replace the rest of them. For the center fuel tank strap, the bolt that's right near the drive shaft will be tricky to get to. You can either get it by hand here, but that's going to be a little tough. If you have a swivel socket, that will make things a whole lot easier for this one. A 3/8 drive one will fit better just because it's a little bit lower profile. There we go. You want to be careful not to jam your socket into the drive shaft, which I didn't. It just barely touched it, so that's good. Also, I already unbolted the shields here, so at this point we can pull this side off. This will be probably the most difficult part of the whole job, just because you have to fit your tool in there. There you go. On the outside, you're probably also going to need a swivel socket just because of this bar here. I mean, you can take it off, but it's really not worth it. You can just do it by hand if you don't have a swivel socket. Okay. There's the strap. Get this strap secured onto this side first, just because it'll be a whole lot easier. Start this bolt in. Going to leave it here. I don't want to damage the bends too much. I'll get it hooked on the other side and then we'll tighten both sides. This strap behind the shields. Can't put the, oh, there we go. I was going to say I can't put the main bolt until the shields go through the stud, but it looks like they just did. Well, one did. Got to put the other one through as well. All right. Now we can get that bolt in. Get that little nut back on there for the shields. Don't forget to put this mounting nut back on for the shields, because if you forget it, they'll rattle around as you drive, and that is definitely not a pleasant noise to hear. All right, let's do the last one. I put my pole jack on the far end of the fuel tank for this last strap. I don't want to put it here. This is right where your fuel pump sits, and fuel pumps sit pretty much right up against the bottom of the tank. So if you put it here, you could damage the fuel pump even by gently pressing up. I don't want to do that, so I put it right on the end here. This will support it a lot better. All right, let's get to this last one. This one you could probably get without a swivel, but a swivel will definitely help. There's the last strap. Get the new one in. All right, they're all done now. Remove your support and you should be all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.